coming back from your personal to let's talk more about your profession, right? Like I was seeing your certifications and all, right? There are two institutes that we are talking about from the business continuity resilience perspective. One is Business Continuity Institute, and then there is DRII, right? Disaster Recovery Institute. So there are a lot of people who have approached me saying that which one should I do? Should I do CBCI or CBCP, MBCI or MBCP and things like that. So I have explained them, of course, in my own way, and then help them understand what should be the decision. But then, because you are into both of this, I'm not much into DRII, of course. So, what would be your guidance to them if someone comes and someone wants to understand? People would be watching this video as well. If someone wants to understand, what exactly would you help them understand the difference between BCI and DRII? Are these really two sort of different things, or these are same?
See, if you ask me, man, what is the difference between two telecom service provider in India now? There is a telecom provider, there is a B telecom provider. At the end of the day, the principal services, whatever that they have, and the delivery, whatever happens, is the same. Similarly, to me, when I see BCI and DRI, DRI is more of a professional body based out of US.
Correct.
And they have the professional. They are the first ones to bring up this professional practices, the 10 different professional practices. That's the way that we are doing, starting up with the program management,
Right.
till the final improvement and all those. In fact, that's what you see now as a Annexure Excel, all those, the 10 different things that comes into your ISO, which was
ISO
standardized.
standard.
And typically BCI is a UK based body, and most of the work like good practice guidelines and all those is picked up by BSI, British Standard Institution, for developing their standards.
Okay.
And once that is probably gone in and implemented, then the ISO takes in the feedback and that goes in, and they also take the DRI's professional practice, the process, everything put together and bring out a ISO model.
Okay.
So from a certification perspective, if you ask me, DRI was more popular in the initial stages. That's the reason I also did the CBCP first, and then later the BCI. BCI came much later
Yeah, of course.
as a
BCI
professional
can-
body. At the end of the day, principles are the same. I also say how the methodology for BCM, and the DRI says this is the methodology for BCM implementation, and BCI also says this is the good practice guidelines for implementing BCM. And of which a certification, they have different levels. So CBCP was the first one that came in. It was too costly, and there's nothing that was available in India. Later, BCMI came in, Dr. Gomo Heng brought in, and Dheeraj Lal got through that, and all those that happened in India. So that's where it was popular in India. Of course, to Malaysia till US and that side, it was very popular. And recognition, if somebody has to know that he is a BCM guy, then automatically the CBCP comes in first.
Comes in picture.
BCI, of course, was not that popular. Of course, you and me, starting of the BCI India chapter and the forum, we made it popular based on the BCI objectives that has to be popular within India. So certification per se, at the end of the day, they have a professional body, they have a survey conducted, they come back with reports of course, the respondents will be from that region, and this will be from this region predominantly, of course, from other locations also that comes in. And slowly they started off this awards and other thing, recognition. And finally, the methodology of implementation, everything comes in. So be it a CBCP or a CBCI or a MBCP or a MBCI, I mean, it's something like at the end of the day, how you implement back in the organization, that is one. And the recognition of an organization. Organization is much familiar, it's a US based and they do work for US, then the CBCP is something
It's
required.
better.
That's why anybody calls me and asks me about this, I tell them, what are your deliveries? Where are those happening? It's predominantly happening in Europe and other places, then going for a BCI, MBCI. That's recognized out there. Because CBCP to an extent it is recognized, but more better in terms of BCI. And in US based means then you go for a CBCP. And if you want a profession to be in your career that you want to continue into BCM, take both if possible, and get everything from your organization. So that's that's how it started.
So if any one of these you sort of undergo as a certification, you are okay that anything else the other one also does is almost covered through that
Yeah.
certification.
It is only that they start off with 10 professional practice. These people brought in with six
Yeah.
on the cycle. I mean,
PPs,
everything is
yeah.
covered. The methodology today, if something that we have to implement, you are a consulting organization, there is one other consulting organization in terms of identify, approach, evaluate, whatever that you do, and finally bring up your consulting approach is going to be different from the other person's approach.
Correct.
That's what is the difference. But nothing else, that, to my knowledge.
How
is
about
different.
in commercial terms?
Commercial?
Both are equivalent or one is more costly?
That is where I think we were able to bring in the BCI visibility more in India, because they were trying to bring up a commercial value in terms of getting it in BCI. But since it was not popular, people are not taking it. But because CBCP was popular, it was definitely, compared to this, I would say that would be 50% higher, 40% higher. And then this one. And DRI also, there were few, actually I would say agency which was working in India to do this. They were trying to reduce the prices, but to an
DRI
extent,
also doesn't operate directly here?
no,
in
no,
India?
through a partner only they operate.
Okay.